All right, we are here. Let's get to it. They have a new content review. I didn't watch this yet. For 39 minutes.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's
Yeah,
about time for our
I played for
first
like a
major content
month.
update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops
Dude,
are
Monster
available on
Hunter
today's live
though?
stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect. Now in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt
didn't
update.
do it.
We'll cover a new class, 5 new Ascendancy classes, and huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems. After that, it's on to the in-game improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots
we're
of
getting
other
a
content.
system reset, right?
We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
Dawn of the Hunt.
We as Mary are guided by the spirit. It
As
provides
Mary.
prey, shelter, even
The Huntress,
love.
right? Yeah.
But for me, one day, all that were changed. The spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all I loved, I used it.
Get rid of those guys.
I lost everything that day.
Oh. Damn, they exiled her from her
But
village.
fate weren't finished with me yet.
This is where you start? No. Oh. Oh, that's how you get
I'll right the
jailed.
wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must. No matter the cost. I will hear the spirit once more.
That's how you end up getting her. Remind me of a monk. Except you stab him and throw him. Oh! It's like some kind of necromancing thing where you stab it, you get a buff. Oh no, chocobo. So the hunters is the only one that get the mount, huh? Yeah? No lady? Yeah. Them coins. Rogue Exile. 100. I want to know what they are though. 100 uniques. New endgame mechanics. New maps. Oh, yo, there's a pirate ship. Hopefully they change the way you get your Ascendancy points a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know if it's out for you, it's out for me. Pretty cool, pretty cool. The problem is, well, I can actually play Monster Hunter the night before and then play Path of Exile the
As
day
you can
after.
see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village.
Oh, that's what that
As a dexterous
was.
spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle.
Explosive
Have
spears.
extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress
In
is
and out.
Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the
So
explosion.
you can stack them.
Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes.
It's like a
These twisters
druid
bounce off
a
walls
little
and
bit.
hit enemies multiple times. You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do
Do you
way
have to
more
use a
damage.
spear for it? Yeah.
In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, parry. While
Parry.
holding down parry, your character will
Oh.
counterattack any incoming attack from monsters
Ping.
near you, stunning.
Ping ping.
In
It's like
addition,
shield block,
monsters
but it's a
will take
parry.
extra attack damage from your follow-up strike.
Oh,
Some
okay.
specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you.
I feel like
and
anyone
can
can
be
use
used to interrupt
disengage,
other
right?
actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy, though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge. Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're going to get stunned and possibly killed.
So it's a shield block in a way,
You can
but it's a
combine this combo with
parry.
whirling slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion from the disengage and the whirling slash. The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use lightning spear to bounce lightning between your foes,
Spear.
or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These
Blow
spears
up.
take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can
Interesting.
also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground.
Frenzy
And
charge.
these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using whirling slash
Oh,
over
wow.
ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion.
What about lightning?
Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well.
Fire
And you can do
tornado.
similar combos with ice
Ice.
and lightning too.
Oh, okay. Making sure. Making sure.
Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake,
Oh, it's like
which
bleed.
dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your enemies.
So it's bleed.
Follow up with disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you. On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example,
The blood
using
loss.
Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion.
So that's the
The more blood
stab
loss,
thing on the
the bigger the
when they
explosion.
stab the corpse or whatever.
If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this
stab, stab,
multi-hit
stab.
combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm
Storm
Lance,
Lance.
that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these
Yeah,
spears?
like a mage.
Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears either in the ground or in your enemies.
Okay.
Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion.
What?
You can only have one
become
companion at a
Pokemon?
time, but it will keep the mods that were on it. Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage
Oh my
of your
god.
ability to tame them.
Huntress is a freaking Pokemon trainer.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress.
Okay.
By endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky.
Boom.
But
Damn.
we still haven't talked about ascendancy classes yet. What can the Huntress ascend into? Well, the first ascension
Amazon?
class you could choose
No.
is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his
Like
varied
the Diablo
traditions
Amazon?
by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague.
Ah, so you become
Corrupted
Necromancer.
Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to
You pretty
grow
much become
volatile
Necromancer.
blood boils on their skin. When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them. The Ritualist
Interesting.
also excels
Ring
in taking
slot?
advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip
Wow,
an additional ring
okay.
on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped. Now, this is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of
Oh.
slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
What the hell? Okay.
Specialize further into
Your
ritualistic
powers are
sacrifice with
mine!
As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand,
what?
sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
Get a random monster
The Amazon
modifier.
Ascension is for those
Oh,
that
there is
hunt more
Amazon.
than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important as
A lot of
melee
stabbies,
elements,
right?
the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to
Yeah.
perfection.
More stabs.
The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While
On the
using
life bar.
Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact.
Boom, boom.
The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have
Almost
skills
died.
like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life.
Damn,
and
life
Fairy
leech.
Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana. So those are the 2 new ascendancies for the Huntress. But those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First
Oh.
up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly.
Oh, you get
With this ascension, you
blacksmith.
can
You-
take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing
No,
power
you get
from
blacksmith in the
insatiable
middle
one
of battle.
Kitava.
What the heck?
Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation.
Ting, ting.
You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
Damn, okay.
A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon, though. Their armor can be enhanced too.
Living
You
armor?
might think this ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable
Yeah, there's a
skills
bunch of
that
them on the
disconnect
bottom.
at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your
You pick
character
one?
is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except
No.
now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected
Oh,
notables with
wow.
your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so
Okay.
many choices. Think of it like you're
Interesting.
crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense. Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the Mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician.
Tactician.
The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies.
Pin
When combined
enemies.
with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once.
Oh,
The Watch How I
okay.
Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well.
What's up with these skill names, man? Watch how I
If
do
that
it.
isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows.
No?
Finally,
Where?
Witch players will be able to join their legions by
What about
becoming
Monk?
undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're
I
introducing
like. I
the
want.
Lich
I want an
Ascension
undead
class.
ascendancy.
The Lich is a master of
I mean,
chaos and
undead.
curses and can sacrifice her
Unarmed
life
ascendancy.
to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just
Wow.
one
Okay.
downside to splitting your soul this way, though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
No, this is update is coming on
Touch of
April
the Soul
4th.
makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage.
This
when
is just
slain.
a content review that's coming for
Dominion
April
of the
4th.
Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
So we get Huntress, and then there's like that's 3 ascendancy classes so far. They're
It's
going
safe to say
over.
you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class. So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes.
5.
But it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added.
Oh no,
Now,
yeah,
you may
5.
remember we previously
the
talked about the Raise
Amazon,
Spectre skill.
Amazon
It's
and
finally complete, and it will be made
the
available in
Huntress. The
upcoming
Huntress
expansion.
had 2
We
ascendancies,
found
obviously.
the occult skills on the skill gem crafting.
Where's the
guide.
monk class though? No,
Raise
ascendancy.
Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game.
I'm feeling like they didn't put any on arm stuff yet. They're
which you
probably
can
still
then
working
summon
on
in the
it.
skill panel.
Maybe he's with Druid.
Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weak
Apparently the
monsters,
Huntress can also be like a
or a few of the
Pokemon
more
trainer.
powerful monsters.
You get 1 companion for
You can
free.
combine them with your existing skeleton minions. or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead.
You have
Given that there are
specters now.
hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best.
For undead
Now
army.
let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill.
Oh, anyone can get it?
Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion.
You get a free roller.
You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears.
What about
Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify
Wait, do I
your
want to
skill
go back
gems
and
in
look at
meaningful
it?
and interesting
No, whatever.
ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems.
100 new support gems.
Hema crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals.
Bleed.
Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks.
Support.
But there's plenty more for every playstyle, such as Enormity,
Summon persistent
Unsteady
minions.
Tempo,
Oh, have you used different skills?
Profanity,
Profanity.
Retaliate,
When you get hit. Oh, you're closer to being heavy.
Synergy. Yep,
Synergy.
that's a real word,
Support slam skills to use on yourself.
and many more.
Yeah, what if
Now,
use
we've talked about a new
unarmed
class,
skill?
new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items.
All right, is
To
there?
start with, let's talk
Are
about
we getting the
uniques.
unarmed face
We're
breaker
adding
or no?
over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher-level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace
Shield.
your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar.
Gives you
It
raise
grants you a large
shield.
amount of fire damage based on your block chance. The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all
Oh.
3 Elemental Herald skills without costing any spirit. At the
And
same
they have
time,
no
it
resistance.
penalizes enemy resistances.
Yeah, that's
Waste
pretty
Belt
OP.
is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds. With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most
I
of
want
it
you
for
to go through
discover.
all of them.
Suffice to say, though, we want there to be
gotta-
way more cool things to find.
Okay, we have to wait on it.
Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game.
How's that?
Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through to end game as well. One example
Yeah.
is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage.
I feel like I have to wait for the next
We're also
update for
introducing
unarmed
a
stuff.
suite of unique bucklers with some
I think when
interesting
the
parry
druid dropped, it's gonna be unarmed
Gyra's
because then
Arc, for
druid's
example,
clawing
allows
through
you to
everything,
carry
right? And monk can
projectiles
also
from any
punch.
distance.
So I feel like
And we're
it's
also
kind
adding our
of
first unique
interweave with each
charms.
other.
Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova. whenever
Get a
you do
charge.
In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now, we also want to talk about crafting options.
They're adding
In
crafting,
each major update
ish.
during early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have one tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by in-game. So we've changed
Oh,
runes to have
percent?
multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before.
Oh,
Our plan is to
I see.
significantly expand the number of
Wow.
specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame.
The hell?
The
Wisp?
Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness.
This is the
You will
probably the
first encounter a
season mechanic.
manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, and as Mary Hunter, who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmeri culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods. As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a
Dude,
rare
it's
or unique
the Genshin
monster,
wisp.
granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury.
Damn, that's annoying.
If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence.
What do you get from them, though?
The Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
Damn, actual bosses. Oh, damn.
Asmerian wisps
here we go.
A new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new
cat talismans. Rage on hit.
Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Asmerian wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters.
Damn.
This map always has multiple Asmerian wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Asmerian wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well, and by tablets.
Get a tree, of course, right?
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in endgame, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame.
Keyword, right?
And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmeri Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps.
7
with their
new
own
types.
Custom encounters.
Each time we get new types, right? Every
the Feral
update.
Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss.
It is the boss.
You must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another.
You can.
And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes.
Why maybe you die
These
though?
can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake
You
contains
get one
a surreal
per fight.
with fractured mirror-like objects. As you move around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored.
So so the map is always different
then. The same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic.
So you want more of the other one? And like you can stack them.
And you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters,
very essence
the
heavy,
essence
huh?
they held will be upgraded to a greater essence and be added to the imprisoned map boss. How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice.
Damn.
Speaking of essences, alongside visual
wait, it
improvements,
says something
you're
about
now
63
able to
portals
apply
left.
file orbs to corrupt the essences.
What does that
with
mean?
a range of unpredictable outcomes.
It says 63
It
portals
could
left.
increase the number of essences, reroll
Huh.
all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have
What?
4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity.
Even more.
Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example,
Gotta
the
stretch.
essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it. Each of these has their own
Yikes.
crafting outcomes.
Sounds annoying.
The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Val Orb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments.
It's worth noting all the essences in the
I didn't
unique
see
map
what the
can
difference.
also
I
be
had to look.
corrupted too.
I had to look
If
deeply.
you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So,
More
we
RNG?
have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run.
Any man.
On your
Oh
travels, you
boy.
will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile.
Damn, is that you?
Some are
PvP?
malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death.
Oh
They use the
jeez.
same skills available to players, and even the same items.
So it's like
They
PvP.
aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation.
And when you
Of
win, you
course,
take their
if
items.
you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground.
All
So
of
if
them.
you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them.
Damn.
Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will
Oh,
feel
it says 6
completely
portals
different
remaining.
depending on
I
the
see.
items they come equipped with. These exiles are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately, they're like you and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Calm's Heart, in which case,
Oh,
expect
boy.
a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own
There's a monk.
skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat.
Like the monk, right?
Another
Probably.
encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes.
Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try
Yeah,
to
they
open
were
them,
strong
they activate
bosses used to
traps
not.
and
They're
spawn
not that
waves of
great in
monsters that
the
you
first
must
one.
defeat
So
to
let's see.
access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone.
Identifying.
Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox
You
comes
fight
with a
it 5
modifier which
times?
determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding.
What if you say I just want to fight it 3
Strongbox
times?
is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Val technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by Chaos itself.
Oh man.
Defeating the monsters will grant you
From
a
the-
unique item.
from the
with
Temple
a
of Chaos
specific
monsters.
corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
Ah. It's a grind. Oh wait, that's the
Now,
dice. Is
let's
that
talk
dice
about
or
the
grinder?
Introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, In practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps.
Yeah, like
We
okay.
wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting.
Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective.
Oh, go here,
On
go
the
there.
Atlas, you will find
Yeah.
areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates
Okay.
into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps.
I
to
might
make
play
them more
Monster Hunter after
interesting
this,
and
maybe.
more rewarding.
But
Once you reach the Nexus, you will have a new task. Cleanse the source of corruption. When you
This is
defeat
the
the last
boss?
rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses.
One out of
Amalgamations of
3, huh?
corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree. The upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss,
okay.
and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies.
Fracturing orbs.
These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its
At
modifiers
least
to become
4?
fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change.
Oh,
If
so you can
get
like
the
lock
right
it.
item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed.
So you
must
can lock
now
one in.
choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess.
I see.
Now, let's have a talk about towers.
Oh boy, towers.
One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically. So there are now 1/3
Okay.
as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful. To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics. But that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets.
Increase number
By
of
tier
math
15,
by
the bonus is
100%.
double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before.
Can you rewrite
So,
the tablet?
We're
maybe?
running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot.
Oh.
Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On top of that, towers
The
are
towers
much more
are
interesting
now
maps
changed,
because they can
right?
now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses.
Each tower map has a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here.
The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither.
Help one.
The boss
We
of the
get both
Sinking
of 'em?
Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning.
Lightning
It uses
one?
a full suite of lightning abilities. But be careful.
But in the
If
story,
any of them
but-
hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up.
Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones.
Oh boy, here we go.
As
Yeah.
we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them.
Oh, but you
But
don't have
as soon as
that.
you get to the end game, you are effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we
But
have
you
such
had to
a
learn.
sudden shift as
You gotta
run
learn
your
it,
first
though.
maps.
The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die.
Oh, but you get portals. Okay.
Continuing from where you left off.
Nice.
When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map. As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
Get 5 portals instead of... Oh, you get
Parties,
one?
everyone
Oh,
gets
it's
to
a
respawn
number
that
of portals.
number of times.
Oh, everyone gets it?
But
Okay.
we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time. Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death.
You just get loot. Okay, you just get loot, huh?
Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters.
Oh yeah, support.
They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht.
Unless...
We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop chances for the reliquary keys from this content as well. We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets.
Unique tablets?
Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections.
Wow, we can just go straight there?
Gaps and traveling around your atlas.
It's like, nah, I don't want to do all these.
This tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated. And weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there. And improvements to existing ones too.
I'm watching Path of Exile stuff and just chilling today.
Now through this live stream we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Recombination.
Recombo
Expedition
crafting?
was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items.
I'm thinking what I want to play after this. I want to play Monster Hunter, Rivals, just chill.
This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today.
Okay.
With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps.
It does like a lot of changes for sure.
There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters.
Wait, what? Oh.
However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy.
Oh, you can do it in the current one and make a new one.
And get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
I feel like if I were to play this, I would just start over.
For all our existing early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com.
The only problem with this is that it's the day right after Monster Hunter stuff drops.
Are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2 and contain 6 microtransactions each and the full pack's face value in points. All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
All right.